Okay, so originally I was gonna write a script for this one, but every time I tried to like organize everything and like get my thoughts out, like it just wasn't transferring from the brain to the paper. So instead, we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna mark this as another Rants by Daylight, especially because there's a lot of shit that's kind of pissing me off. This isn't gonna be like one of my full-blown like angry rants like the other rants of by Daylight in the past. I actually do have some like real stuff to like kind of sit down and talk to you guys about, but because it is unscripted, it falls under the Rants by Daylight title, and you guys understand how that is. In any case, let's talk about the new consultant program. The new consultant program. Now, unlike every fucking body else, I did not have a knee-jerk reaction to seeing the consultant program when it got announced last week or 2 weeks ago or however fucking long it is. I have ADHD and time blindness, so I really have no concept of time. But the point is that the day that the consultant program got announced and it became known to the rest of the Dead by Daylight community on Twitter, everybody started having these knee-jerk bullshit reactions and a whole bunch of crap went down, and we're basically going to go over everything related to the consultant program today and kind of just talk about it and what it means for Dead by Daylight. So the first thing is, what is a consultant? A consultant is basically their QA team. It's basically their QA, their quality assurance, their play testers. Consultants are consulted on their opinions for upcoming balance changes and upcoming quality of life changes. Basically, whatever is coming to the game, they reach out to the consultants. Not all of them, but whatever consultants belong to which department. So for a great example, one of the consultants, Deaf Girl Gaming, or Stormy, is a consultant for accessibility options because she is deaf. It is because of Stormy that we have the visual terror radius. Now, according to, I think his name is Peanuts, he's one of the developers on the forums, this has been a thing since basically the game's release. It happened very quickly after the game's released, but it has been secret up until recently, where they renegotiated the NDA contracts for the consultants to allow them to announce that they are consultants, and then they gave them this cute little bird charm thing. Personally, I would not have announced that I'm a consultant, and the reaction from the community over the past few days really would be why. So the first thing I want to address is actually Spooky Loops quitting the Fog Whisperer program. This is a very big part of the this is a very big part of the entire controversy. Spooky Loops got incredibly pissed off that this came out because he felt like, as a Fog Whisperer, the entire community basically looks at Fog Whisperers completely differently now. And this is a valid thing. This is something that you know, I'm not going to say that he's overreacting or anything. Completely valid from the perspective of the average consumer, because if you paid attention, whenever the consultant thing dropped, everybody on Twitter was like, what's the point of the Fog Whisperers then? I thought the Fog Whisperers' job was to do this. Oh my god, the Fog Whisperers are actually completely useless. Yes, that is a real phrase that I saw in the comments of everything. So Spooky Loops was basically like, I'm just embarrassed because all we are is free billboards. And the antithesis to that is Scott Jund made a tweet and then a video. I haven't actually watched the video as of recording this. I probably should, but Scott Jund made a tweet about how Scott doesn't understand why people thought that Fog Whisperers were anything more than walking billboards. And I think that's a little bit disingenuous. I love Scott. We're actually mutuals on Twitter for some reason. I have no idea why Scott would ever like me enough to follow me back, but I enjoy Scott. I enjoy his content. I think he is a very what I like about Scott is whenever he makes opinions, regardless if I disagree with them or not, he adds nuance to those opinions, which is something that is missing a lot in the Dead by Daylight community. But Scott will try to break down why his opinions exist. He won't just go, ha 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 ha, you're stupid, and move on, right? One of the reasons I greatly enjoy Scott. But in any case, I think that this is kind of like not seeing the way that Fog Whisperers have been presented for a very long time, because especially like as a newcomer, right? I came into the space little less than 2 years ago. October 2022 was when I first played Dead by Daylight, and I was involved in the Twitter space by like November. Okay, I always saw the Fog Whisperer program as a direct line to behavior. It was a direct communication between behavior and the community. So the Fog Whisperers were like the middleman. And then eventually, as time went on, I was like, well, I guess they are just kind of like ambassadors. They just represent Dead by Daylight. But they get things, they get given giveaway codes. That is so hard to say. Say that 3 times fast. They get given giveaway codes. It's like a fucking tongue twister. But they get given giveaway codes. You know, they receive all of this other stuff. They are the ones that are invited to play new things for dev streams. And this was actually something Hydro talked about, where it felt like the Fog Whisperers didn't really have any agency. But the main difference between the Fog Whisperers and the consultants is that consultants are actual paid positions. Like, these people are actually paid for their opinions on the game by behavior. And there's a wide variety of them. Some of them have, you know, X amount of hours. Other ones have way more hours. But besides people like Deaf Girl Gaming, there's also people like Hens and Lilith Omen, who are also consultants for the game. And so it's interesting to me that this entire thing has existed for this long and we really didn't know. And that's why the Fog Whisper program has always seemed a little off. Because at the end of the day, they are ambassadors. Now, it looks like they're getting a little bit more leeway, but here's the thing that I don't like. And while I understand Spooky's frustrations, one thing Spooky was about is Spooky was like, I don't understand why they made it public. I can tell you why they made it public. Because recently, during the 7.7.0 patch, people were questioning whether or not Behavior even had a quality assurance team. And it turns out they do. And my guess is that this was made public because they wanted to beat the quality assurance accusations. But that leads me into another thing. I don't think the consultants should have ever been made public. Because now consultants are getting harassed. So Stormy made a post responding to Ruby Chan. I follow both Stormy and Ruby Chan on Twitter, by the way. But Stormy made a post in response to Ruby Chan where Ruby Chan had a hot take that camping and tunneling takes no skill. And Stormy agreed with it. And then Stormy also said dead hard for distance is more fun as a hot take. And so a bunch of fucking absolute losers with nothing better to do than to have a superiority complex over a fucking video game started harassing Stormy. Screen capped her, posted her to their little tweet threads going, "This is your consultant for us. The game is cooked, bro. The game is gonna die now. Look at this. Look at the consultants and they're bad at pitch." Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Because like, this is exactly why the consultant program should have been secret. It has nothing to do, again, I love Spooky Loops, but it has nothing to do with making the Fog Whisperers look bad. It should have stayed a secret because now all of these fucking little losers out here, every time a bad decision gets made, or not even just a bad decision, just a decision they don't like, every time one gets made, they're gonna go directly and harass consultants. They're going to start bringing up takes that they don't like from consultants. They're going to start digging into the hours that consultants have. And again, consultant doesn't necessarily mean that they're even a consultant for balance. Stormy is a consultant for accessibility. They're not coming to her and being like, "Hey, what do you think about this balance decision?" And even if they were, they don't necessarily have to listen to her. She is only there to give her opinions based on her experience in the game. And she also doesn't get to pitch anything. Consultants don't get to pitch this. There's a long ass forum post from Peanuts that states what the consultants are for, and they're exactly as they sound. The balance team or the art team or the concept team or whoever comes up with an idea, and then they go to the consultants and they go, "What do you think about this idea?" And the consultants go, "Yes," or "No," or "Maybe, change this." And then the team that brought it to the consultants looks at their feedback, looks at what the team is trying to accomplish, and then they kind of weigh the options, right? It's just another way for opinions to be given. But again, I understand why some Fog Whisperers are upset, because Fog Whisperers should be the middle ground connection between the community and the developers. The Fog Whisperers should be the ambassadors, the people in the community who bring the community up and raise them up and help them and help keep everybody's spirits listed and voice the frustrations of the community to the developers. That should be somebody the developers listen to for suggestions. But I get having an entire consultant team whose entire job it is to be the person who gives you opinions, right? So it's this healthy mix of the two. And what's interesting to me is Behavior's recent track record has been an overall positive of listening to the community. So they probably have replaced consultants throughout the years and started actually taking that position more seriously as of recently. Because within the past 2 years, I can really only think of like 5 or 6, not 5 or 6, I'd say like 3 or 4 maybe bad, like really bad patches, like terrible patches where almost nothing good came of it. I can only think of like 3 or 4 within the past 2 years. So with that being said, obviously the consultant position is really good, but I'm just going to put this out there. If you are somebody who is going to directly harass the consultants, the way y'all harass Odstarva, the way y'all harass Scott Jund, and as much as I don't fucking like him, the way y'all harass True Talent or any other big creator when changes come to the game that you don't like just because that creator wanted that change, if you harass consultants like that, you are equally as big of a fucking dumbass as the ones who harass the fucking creators. Because at the end of the day, the changes that are made are up to Behavior. And sometimes changes are made for reasons that we don't know because we don't have access to the back end. In conclusion, I don't think the consultants should have been revealed publicly. I just don't. And I think that if you are a consultant and you haven't announced that you are one, I honestly recommend you keep your mouth shut, because there is no shot in hell that it is a good idea to put it out there that Behavior goes and talks to you for your opinions on how the game should be balanced and changed and what should come to it. It's not a good idea. The internet is fucking ruthless, and I expect that we're going to be seeing a couple of people quit being a consultant just because of the harassment they will receive. But other than that, I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know down below. And as always, a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Can't get enough daily Dead by Daylight content? Then check out my second channel, The Kaiser Extras, where I upload gameplay footage, me reacting to your Dead by Daylight clips, and more. We also have a new short that goes live every single day, so you can catch up on all the greatest clips from stream. We'll see you over there. Link is in the description.